Hey guys, it's Court with ElectricBikeReview.com. I got a comment earlier today from one Chicago Deep House Head with regard to the Clean Republic Hilltopper electric bike kit. And this guy's asking, okay, but will it ride up hills in SF? That is the question. Well, I'm not in San Francisco. I'm actually in Colorado right now, but I found a hill that's, this is pretty substantial. I used to live in San Francisco. The grade on this thing is significant, and I actually happen to have a lead electric bike kit here on one of my bikes. And so this thing uses the same 250 watt geared front hub motor by 8 Fun. So it's the exact same motor. The battery that I've got on this thing is 24 volt, 10.4 amp hours. Now, Lead does make a little bit smaller one that's like 24 volt, 5 amp hours, but this is, it's kind of like middle of the run here. And I think a lot of the batteries on both the Lead and Clean Republic are 24 volt. The voltage is what gives you the power, right? And then the motor being 250 watt, that's the motor power. So when you combine those two, that's really what determines whether you can get up a hill like this or not, okay? And also the type of motor. This is a hub motor. It's geared, so a little bit more torque, but it's not going to give you the same climbing power as maybe like a mid-drive system would, because you'd be leveraging the cassette in the rear. So anyway, on to the real question, right? Can the Hilltopper top hills? And how many hills would a Hilltopper top if a Hilltopper could top hills? That's the question. I'm actually going to do a few rides here. The first one's going to be like me just, human power, seeing what that's like. Probably going to have to stand up. Probably not going to be a whole lot of fun, switch gears and stuff. The second one, I think I'm going to come into it using the Hilltopper and pedaling and see if I can make it up. Then I'm going to go in with the Hilltopper no pedaling, but I'm going to have a running start. And finally, I'm going to just go from a rest and just gun it and see what the Hilltopper does. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, now let's remember that I weigh 130 pounds, I'm 5'9", and this is just sort of an average bicycle. On this first test, I'm just going to pedal. I'm not going to use any of the drive, any of the electric drive. Woo! Okay, so I made it. Wasn't really that hard. I did shift gears. I went to my lowest gear, granny gear, and I was able to sit down, but it's a pretty steep hill. This time, I'm going to pedal and I'm going to use the electric assist, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so I'm pedaling, and now I'm pressing it. Okay, that was much easier. I was able to go a lot faster, and I actually upshifted to harder gears so I could pedal even faster. The assist really helped. Felt like there was another person giving just as much effort as I was. Now I'm going to go into it. I'm going to take a little bit of momentum, and I'm just going to gun the motor, and I'm not going to pedal. We'll see how high I can get. There we go. Okay, well, we didn't make it all the way up the hill. The motor went from to kind of and then it just stopped. That was kind of it. We were going just barely even 1 mile per hour, and it was really struggling, so I decided to stop. This time, I'm not even going to go with a running start. I'm just going to try to go from a stop and pretend that, that's all I've got is the throttle. I'm not going to pedal, and we're going to see how it does. And I'm actually going to start a little ways up the hill, just to, for a little bit of more of an incline. Well, didn't do too well. We didn't even move an inch. The motor was struggling, kind of that kind of sound. I'm going to go ahead and take the camera with me now and show you more of a close-up viewpoint of what this is like. I'm going to start out just pedaling a little bit, and then I'm going to hit the throttle. And so this will be kind of that test where we've got a little bit of momentum and we're trying to use the motor all the way up. And there's the hill. There we go. Pedaling a little bit, and then motor. There we go. Well, it did get us, about halfway up the hill, but eventually it sort of gave out. Just couldn't handle it. 250 watts, not quite enough. And a lot of these motors do have like overheat protection and stuff, so they will just cut out so that it doesn't damage the motor, and then you let it cool off for a while and you can try it again. So here we're kind of letting it cool off. I'm going to get to a bit more of an incline, maybe this stripe right here, and now I'm going to try to go from 0. So I'm just holding the bike with the pedal here, and now I'm going to gun it. Wow. Okay. That's better than the first test I did. It just wasn't even trying. I think I was a little bit higher on the hill. So, what I found is that it needs a little bit of momentum, just a little bit, and then the motor will kick in and try to, help you up. But if it's too steep, it'll just go. So I'm going to try to demonstrate that here. So it's a little bit steeper here. So you can hear it trying, struggling, but it's just not catching. It would need a little bit of boost, and then it can go. So I guess ultimately, to answer the question, can these kits, get up hills, especially steep hills like this? I personally think it depends on whether you're pedaling into the hill, and if you help it out just a little bit by pedaling along, you're going to do a lot better. And it adds significant strength to what you would do otherwise. If you didn't have a kit at all, I mean, you almost have to stand up to get up something like this. But with a kit, it feels like you're doubling your strength, really. At 250 watts like this. And again, if you got a mid-drive system or something, you'd be able to do a lot better because you'd be leveraging those rear gears. So anyway, if you've got any questions related to electric bikes, leave a comment here. Otherwise, I'll see you back at electricbikerview.com.